welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. So today I wanted to see if I could guess what happens in certain movies or TV shows just based on the context that I know from Twitter, social media, and the movie poster or the show's poster. I'm kind of a person that sticks within my genres of TV and movies in general, and there are a lot of mainstream sort of things that just don't appeal to me because of certain things. So, for example, I don't like action movies because I find action sequences really boring. I know that's like counterintuitive, but I feel like the stakes are never too high with action sequences. Like, I feel like we always know that the protagonist or the superhero is not gonna die, no matter how badly it looks or how much it looks like he's gonna die. Like, they're probably not going to. There's just so much destruction that happens, and I'm like, who pays for all that city reconstruction? Or I don't know. I just can't help but think of random stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm supposed to be thinking about when watching an action movie. So action movies are one. Sort of anything with violence or just graphic violence to me is really terrifying. I don't really watch a lot of dramas. I don't watch too much sci-fi. So there's a lot of like sort of just mainstream pieces of media that I've never seen, and I just want to guess what happens in them. Honestly, it might be shady, but just like my holiday rom-coms and stuff, some of these movies can get quite predictable. Like I was saying, like, you know, your hero never really dies. Hopefully my guesses aren't offensive if one of these is like your favorite show or your favorite movie, but I'm going to try my best and honestly guess scenes or things that I think happen in these movies or TV shows. Please let me know in the comments if I was right about any of them. I think I will be sort of right at some of them because they have a lot of social media attention. Let me know if I'm wrong about, which is more likely. Please let me know if I'm wrong about any of these. I have my iPad here, and that's what I'll be looking at. I'm doing this OTF. I don't have much of a plan. I'm just sort of going to think of movies or shows that I don't watch and that I see lots of people talk about. Let's start with something currently trendy, The Mandalorian. Okay, the poster has like a spaceship and a knight guy, an armored guy without a face. We can't see his face. I don't see Baby Yoda anywhere on this poster, so I'm like pretty lost. Okay, so obviously I think what I know about this show is that Baby Yoda's there. Is his name Grogu? Grogu? Is Grogu the name for a Baby Yoda? Sort of like puppy versus dog. Grogu versus Yoda. Or is he just like a different alien guy than the Yoda from the other movie? Okay, so what is Yoda? Okay, so just Star Wars. So The Mandalorian is a Star Wars thing. It happens, I'm assuming, way before the movies because it's Baby Yoda. So some sort of like prequel. Maybe it's 100 years before the Star Wars stuff. There's the Pedro guy. I imagine he has some cool scenes with Baby Yoda. Is his name Baby Yoda for real in the show? Because, like, no, I think it's Grogu. Do they call him Baby Yoda? He's very cute. Baby Yoda's cute. I think I heard he goes to jail, which is sad. Like, what did he do to go to jail? Jail for being too cute? Maybe this guy framed Baby Yoda for stealing this spaceship, and that's why Baby Yoda went to jail. But it was really him. He looks kind of evil. Is this Pedro? This guy? I cannot fathom what happens. I'm assuming Baby Yoda gets framed and goes to jail, and then he has to break out of it. He tricks some stormtroopers with his cuteness, like the Puss in Boots, and then he escapes jail, and he finds the guy who framed him, and they have a fight, have a battle, and Baby Yoda wins. Maybe we're still yet to find out, but I'm assuming Baby Yoda will win. Maybe that's the season finale of season 2. I don't know if that's out yet. Oh, I forgot to mention, like, if I accidentally give spoilers, I'm sorry. I don't think I will, because I don't know what actually happens in these, but sorry if I do. Just take everything I say, if you haven't watched it either, like, take everything I say as, like, a lie. Let's move on to the next one. Game of Thrones. So, Game of Thrones is one of those that's too much drama and too much graphic violence for me that I don't think I can handle it. So, Game of Thrones, lots happened in Game of Thrones. It's like 6 seasons, and each episode's like a movie's length of like 2 hours long. I know they messed up the ending. I think everyone died except for like maybe that hated guy that looks like Malfoy. The dragon girl, she turned really bad out of nowhere. She had no arc. Like, she just turned evil for shock factor, and then she burned down the city. That lady with the short hair, she died, I think. Jon Snow died and then got resurrected like Jesus. I feel for Game of Thrones fans. I feel like y'all put in so much time into that show and then it just let you down. It was like all a waste. So I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Jon Snow died, but then didn't, obviously. And that's what I'm talking about with these shows. They're just too afraid to kill off characters. Like, I think shows nowadays, they're so afraid of the fans. And I hate that because, and yes, they're successful, constantly successful shows and things that never kill off characters. Like Stranger Things is a big one that I think, like, they're too comfortable with not killing or not endangering their characters, or they're too scared of the fans, I think. I can never believe when a main character dies in one of these shows just because they always bring him back. So it's no surprise Jon Snow came back, but he died at the end too. Who gets the throne? Is it the spoiled brat kid? Does Macy Williams die? She seems nice. Or maybe no one ends up with the throne and they all mutually stab each other with swords, is how I imagine it happening. One of the characters discovered a portal to Starbucks. Also, it's just dark, right? It's dark. It's always nighttime in Game of Thrones. So lots of dark battles, lots of wet-looking CGI in these dark battles, and maybe some bows and arrows as well. So that's Game of Thrones. Okay, next, Avengers. So I have never seen any Avengers movie, any of them. Please comment below if there's any that are particularly good and that I would enjoy. I saw the first Iron Man, that's it. I'm looking at the Avengers Endgame poster. It looks, there's a lot of people here, a lot of people at the party. Iron Man's there. Thor. Mark Ruffalo. America. Some guy with a bow. An arrow. Who's he? Is he Hawkeye? If he's Hawkeye, I'm good. Like, cause I don't know that. Paul Rudd is there. Brie Larson. So I don't know who some of these people are, but is the guy in the back the Thanos? He's the bad guy. He wants to control the universe. He wants to control it with his glove, with nice jewels on it. He is trying to get all the jewels to the glove. And in this movie is when he's trying to get the final jewel to the glove. Right. Iron Man dies, so good for Marvel. But does he die? Maybe he comes back in the next one. I think this one is supposed to be the final, but I don't put it past them to give us more. All of the Avengers movies, all that I picture happening is this trope or this scene where you get a shot of one character just like doing their thing, like having fun or chilling by the pool. This superhero, right? Like Brie Larson chilling by the pool. So her assistant comes in and is like, "Ma'am, the Avengers are calling. The Iron Man's on the phone." She's like, And then she goes in her bikini, answers the phone, and then cut to the next person, like, you see Mark Ruffalo, he's baking a pie, and he gets the call, and he's like, I'll be right there. And then they're, like, I just picture all of the Avengers movies are just one long, that type of sequence. Like, they all start off like this, and they're just gathering each other. Did those scenes happen in the Avengers? Because, like, that's what I picture when I think of, like, what scenes. And then, like, that's the first half of the movie, just them calling each other, trying to reach each other. Like, one of them will be, like, at a fancy party, and they can't get through, and so hilarious. Like, oh, you need a ticket. They have to, like, sneak their way in the party and just to talk to, who's there. Just to talk to, like, Paul Rudd. And then there's always, like, one superhero that's, like, reluctant. They're retired, and they don't want to come back, and they're like, I'm done with that. And that everyone else is like, no, we need you. We need your specific power for whatever Thanos, the jewel he's trying to get. And they appeal to him emotionally, and then the superhero's like, okay, fine. Reluctantly agrees. So, like, that's what I picture the first half of every Avengers movie to be. And the second half is just action. Them trying to fight. Oh, that is the Avengers for me. Okay, so next, let me talk about Bridgerton. I don't know. Okay, so this one, I have no idea what the heck. I just see it hashtagged on TikTok for clout, but I think it's a show about, like, Victorian-ish times and, like, a family in Victorian times. So I'm picturing this to be the Netflix knockoff of Little Women. That is my guess about this show, which I picture a lot of, like, little spats and, like, a big vocabulary words and, like, weird accents that aren't British, but maybe a little British. Lots of white people, looks like, from this image. That's Bridgerton for me. Let me know if that's accurate. Okay, so let me talk about Cobra Kai. That's a show on Netflix as well. It just looks like the Karate Kid for modern people. I imagine it is a similar dynamic, that there is an older mentor and, like, a young guy trying to learn some sort of martial art and having fights with bullies about it. Everyone comes to watch the fights, and they bet money. He gets knocked down and beat in like his first fight, and then his later fight is his redemption, and he, like, triumphs over the bully or the buffer guy or whatever. That's my guess. Okay, let me talk about High Fidelity. It's a show on Hulu with Zoe Kravitz. This one just gives me super hipster vibes. I don't really know much about it, but, like, the image that they show is, like, her at a record store looking moody. It's just, like, her living, her getting coffee, her getting records at the record store, having a mundane interaction with the checkout guy, her being at home looking contemplative. That is what I picture that whole show to be. Here's a cartoon I haven't seen before. It is Big Mouth, which is kind of a popular adult cartoon. I think it's on Netflix, maybe it's on Hulu. That it's, like, about these puberty teens. That's what it's about. It's like Nick Kroll, I think, is one of them. I picture that one to be just very raunchy, lots of, like, penis jokes and playing the penis game at school. Having, like, erections in class. I just picture it to be, like, having pimples, a lot of lusting by the boys over their girl classmates, I bet one of them has a crush on a teacher. I bet it's problematic at times, like, it has jokes that are probably a little over the edge. Okay, next I'm gonna do The Queen's Gambit. I don't know much about this show either. I'm saying that for every one of these, but Someone's trying to start their car outside my window. They got it. Okay, so the Queen's Gambit, it's either in like the 1960s or like the Victorian era. I'm not sure which time period it falls into. I think it's about a woman, this young woman. I like her. She was in that movie that I saw, Thoroughbreds. And this girl is like Argentinian, so she like speaks Spanish, and that's interesting, I guess. She's very beautiful. She has gone through a tough time, I believe. She's like going through some depression, maybe, or some breakup, or getting disowned by her family. She is plotting her revenge, perhaps. Or I don't know if she's taking power, like she's trying to become queen. Like, if it's Victorian, then she's trying to become queen. If it's like the 60s, she's probably trying to get promoted at work. I'm not sure. Oh god, I feel like these are so off. Okay, the last show I will do is this show, which is kind of old. I don't think it's still going. I think it went for a few seasons. It's called Young and Hungry, with the girl from Hannah Montana. She's the best friend, sister of the Sixth Sense guy. She is a food blogger, but has to pay the bills being a chef for celebrities. I'm not sure. This one is a very like girly comedy. I think sitcom tropes are happening constantly, like a lot of kitchen tropes, like flour fights, or messing up your souffle, getting a nail caught in the food for the guests. And a lot of hijinks, and maybe one of her celebrity clients is like a hot guy that she likes, or maybe she has a best friend that she's into, or maybe it's a whole triangle and there's two. I'm sure this protagonist has like 1 million viewers on her blog, because on TV it's so easy to be a successful viral blogger, even if you're the most basic person ever. Oh, maybe the whole premise of this show is to, like, you know, when you find a recipe online, there's always like a story before the actual recipe. Maybe she incorporates whatever the episode's plot was into the story of her recipe that week, and that's how it's integrated. If that's not a show, then it should be Call Me. If it's not that, then they really slacked, because that's a perfect tie-in. I think that's also the premise of Dog with a Blog on Disney Channel. But the dog, what is the dog posting about? That one I don't get. But this one, it would make a lot of sense in that she incorporated whatever lesson she learned this episode into the recipe that week. And the recipe had some theme, like forgiveness cupcakes or something. I think that's all I'm gonna... They have been doing that constantly all weekend. So, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. Please let me know if I got anything right or wrong about these shows, if you've seen them. I'm excited to see if I got anything right, to be honest. I think a couple things from Twitter that I've picked up might be right, but I think I made a mess of these shows. Like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Miscellaneous, where I post about new videos going up, or you can turn on the bell notification on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.